who share the memory. Where do you want to go next? If you'd like to see Liyue's tourist spots, I have a few references. Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory?
That's close enough.
Solidify.
We're way born of ice and...
Into the wind.
New punch.
No touching.
Neat. The wind knows me.
Thank you for
Yo, what's up, Asuna? How are you, man? I'm actually I'm actually relieved. Honestly, I thought chat was broken, like super broken, because like I've already refreshed chat like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, okay, there's like 1 or 2 people in chat. No one said anything yet. So I'm like, is chat broken again? Oh, good. Glad to hear that, man. Okay, thank you for saying something, man. I was actually anxious, like I couldn't, like I'm actually kind of in a hurry now because like I'm doing yesterday's dailies. These are yesterday's dailies and I have 14 and a half minutes to finish my dailies before the daily server reset. Otherwise I'm gonna miss like a day of dailies by only a few minutes. Oh, good. Glad to hear that. Good to see you, man. I don't need a shield. This is a mushroom hitting contest. $14 is enough for Sumeru dailies. I guess so, yeah. But then, like, that's 14 minutes on 3 accounts. Although, that being said, I did finish 1 account in like 5 minutes, so I think I'll be fine. So I'm like furiously spamming like left click and the space bar now. I had a bunch of stuff to do today. The only reason why I'm even able to stream today is because like I start work pretty late on Thursdays. Anyway, what do you think of 4.0, Asuna? I completed 412 for 11 yesterday. It was hard because my cookie died. Literally on 1 HP. Okay. I mean, that's sort of what Cookie does, right? That is what Cookie does. Hey, yo, what's up? Siddhartha? Am I reading your name right? Please let me know if I'm reading it wrong. What's up, man? And because of like because of how Cookie works, I often find myself sort of wishing that I had her C6 across all 3 accounts. I mean it's just, you know, it's just a nice to have. I think it's not, I don't think it's like necessary, but it is a nice to have. Her C6 is sort of like Hu Tao C6, where when she takes a hit that's going to kill her, instead of dying, she just stays at 1 HP and then she's like she can't die for like a few seconds. I don't remember how long it is. I'll go check once I'm finished with my dailies on the 3rd account. But yeah, T6 is sort of like it's a nice to have. It's a nice to have. I mean, like I don't even have C2 on one of my accounts. I think it's my 3rd account. Okay, be right back. I'll just be swapping accounts because I got 11 minutes to do dailies on the 3rd account. Stop making typos. Indian names are hard to read. I mean, I really do try. But yeah, they are sort of hard to read. I think I mean, they sort of, you know, at least they're not German, right? Like German mostly uses the English alphabet, but then like the phonics is so weird. It doesn't read how it looks like it should read in German. At the very least, the very least, Indian mostly uses just like common North American phonics. So at least I could try to read it. Thankfully, the floor bonus 24% HP makes my Kaza a little better. What do you mean? So how you mean like your Kaza kept dying? You needed more HP to make it more comfy to not die? India follows British English. Right. I mean, I don't actually know any history, any Indian history, but like it just sort of makes sense because like I remember the only piece of history that I remember that has anything to do with both Britain and India is the what was that company from like hundreds of years ago that was so big that it would, like, if it existed today, it would dwarf every tech giant altogether. Like even if they were all combined, it would dwarf how big all the tech giants were, even if they were all combined. East India Trading Company? It was something like that. And that, Britain was, and all I understand about Britain's history is that it sort of was either conquering other lands or trading with them, and sometimes trading and conquering them. I was playing with no healer team. Oh my god. Why though? Okay, I guess that's fine. I mean, I do occasionally play without a healer. So what team were you playing without a healer? I need freeze team. Oh, what's wrong? Wait, what do you need a freeze team, Siddhartha? Oops. Okay. Can you help me finish that temporary map? Pretty please. What do you mean? How do I help you finish it? Okay. Alright, we're safe. We're safe. I can I can rest easy now. I didn't miss my dailies. Thank goodness.
Thank you for...
Okay, I think I still have an event to finish. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I guess I didn't do... Oh! Huh. I guess I did this already. Well, I think I might have done it on this account, but not the other ones. I think I did it on the second account? I'm on the third account right now. I'm trying to think. What else do I need to do? No, that's empty. No red stuff. Okay, now we're good. Wait. Oh, hey. I haven't done the Kaya hangout at all. Huh? That's gonna be for another day.
Osmanthus what?
Okay. Alright. Just swapping accounts, guys. Just gonna check out the... I'm gonna check out the... No. I guess I'm gonna go straight to the main account. Yeah, because I know I'm definite that I didn't do any of that shared site, I believe. Shared site event on the main account. Pretty busy this week. You have my account, so maybe you can. I mean, like, I don't know if I want to, Asuna. I mean, I wish I could. I've literally done it 4 times already, so I'm like, I don't know if I want to really put Coco and no Benny in freeze. Put Coco and no Bennett. Kokomi's a healer. What do you mean no healer? Should I club Aka with Yelan or Kokomi? Coco Fish. I already have Bennett as my healer. I need a freeze team. Well, okay. Here's the... So if you're trying to choose between Yelan, who is actually coming, and Kokomi, who is here now, right? If that's like what you're trying to do now, in most cases, Kokomi will be better for freeze, because Kokomi has AOE Hydro application, whereas Yelan only has single target Hydro application. But your advantage with Yelan is, number one, Yelan just does a lot more damage, like way more damage. Like think think like Genin Naruto versus like Baryon mode Naruto. So Yelan in terms of personal DPS is like Baryon mode Naruto, and then like Genin Naruto, like Academy Naruto is Kokomi in terms of personal damage. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna rage like hearing that statement, but please, I'm just exaggerating. But yes, the damage difference is big, because like if you try to build Kokomi as like for personal damage, then you're either going with a healer build and then relying on your clam set to do damage, or you're going like normal attack build. You have the donut, and then you're sort of building like a mono hydro team. Sure. Another thing that Yelan has too is, other than having a lot more personal damage, is Yelan can also I don't know, like I might be wrong here. I know that there are some Hyper Bloom or even Burgeon teams that can use Kokomi, but they're more on the niche side. Like not a lot of people use them because they're a little bit harder to use, in my opinion, because you have to on-field Kokomi, which is fine, right? It's fine, but it's up to you. Like if you want, try to look up footage of Kokomi Bloom teams with what's her name, Nilu, just in case you'll eventually want Nilu in the future. Like if you like Nilu, then that opens up the possibility that you might pull for Nilu someday in the future, right? And then Kokomi is it goes really well with Nilu Bloom teams. And if you want, you could also look up some Hyper Bloom or Burgeon teams with Kokomi. I know that there are some, but they're rather niche and not a lot of people use them. So look up some footage and then see if you think you're gonna enjoy that kind of playstyle. And then for me, I just think that Yelan is more valuable, and that's mostly because I prefer Yelan's Hyper Bloom teams. Yelan's Hyper Bloom or even Burgeon teams. I've never really used the Burgeon team myself before, but I don't know. I just think that Yelan applies more Hydro than Kokomi off-field, and I'd rather be off-field from my Hydro characters, and that's just my personal preference. I'd rather be not on the field with my Hydro characters when I'm using like Hyper Bloom or Burgeon or Bloom teams. It's just my preference, really. What else? Yelan can also go together with Xingqiu in case you're ever interested in Hu Tao, right? Or if you have a Hu Tao, then Yelan and Xingqiu together with Hu Tao, probably one of the highest single target DPS teams in the game. Like imagine Yelan's passive giving Hu Tao more damage. You got your Hydro Resonance giving Hu Tao more HP, thus giving her more attack. So yeah, it's a win-win-win situation. But I know that Hutao has like plenty of high single target DPS teams. There's even one. Oh, you could even run like a Shangling, Xingqiu, Yelan, Hutao team, if you want. You know, if you somehow feel like you don't have enough DPS.
Osmanthus wine tastes this.
Yelan is better for doing one thing. Boba. Lol. Well, that's one thing. Yep, that's one thing. Yelan has definitely got over Kokomi. Also, you know what? I guess they're somewhat similar. I guess I think Kokomi might be like a lower investment character, and by that I mean like you don't need a lot of investment to get Kokomi going, with like to get her to start doing her job. And in most cases, her job is to apply Hydro off-field in an AoE fashion. Especially in your case, you mentioned Freeze Team, right? So basically, why I'm having such like a really long discussion between Yelan or Kokomi is because you also have to like, I basically want to give out, like, whenever someone asks me questions like that, I want to give them the answer that I think gives them the most value. So, because in this case, you're trying to choose one of two characters, especially because one is out right now and one is coming very soon. Yeah, it's a very real right now choice, especially because like how long we got 5 days left for you to make a decision. Can't go to college, headache. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Potato. But hey, you're here. Let's hope that you watching me play video games or listen to my voice somehow gets rid of that headache, or make it worse. I mean, I don't know what I can't predict the future. I don't know what's gonna happen. Oh, what are we doing?
Solidify.
Do you need to kill these guys?
No touching.
Retrieve the beacons. I actually recently rewatched Troy, and I don't know, that movie still kicks, man. I don't know if you've seen it, if you guys have seen it before. It's that movie, just my opinion, in terms of like movie making, storytelling, it may not be absolutely perfect. I'm sure there are plenty others that people will say, oh, but this is better, etc. It's just, despite how long ago it was made, I don't know, I think it's really, really good, and it still holds up. If someone, and I think it's probably one of the, despite how successful I think Troy was back then, for some reason, no one has tried to remake Troy. And I think the reason is, like, they can't remake it. If they do remake it, they're just gonna absolutely fail. I'm sure some like really creative directors out there could probably do it justice. But they wouldn't be. They would have to make it a little different. And the thing with that is, like, it's sort of like the story. The thing with Troy is, like, as far as I understand, like, the history there is that there isn't really any hard facts about Troy. In fact, some people still deny that it ever existed. So yeah. So I guess the nice thing about history that not everyone can agree on is, like, it is, despite it being fact, if it is true, and if it's not true, then it's fiction, at least, like, to a movie maker or a storyteller, it's still, like, open to interpretation. You still have you have some space to change up the story according to your vision as a movie maker. greatly sad after hearing my second queen is gonna be a claymore user. Second queen. Oh, what's her name again? I can't remember her name. So it's from what I remember from the special program. So Chlorinde, I don't know how to read her name. Apparently has like a strained relationship with her, her being your second queen. I just can't remember her name.
Stabilize.
Blaze over.
Which Troy movie would like?
Access denied.
Wait, hang on. Okay, good. Where's the other guy? The flower didn't kill us.
Next time.
Okay. Which Troy the movie? Movie with lights, which we can change into anything we want. Wait, what? What is that? Clorinda is my fourth queen. Okay, I love how you have them ranked. You have them ranked, and that's awesome. I'm sure. Okay, maybe it's just me, but I don't really have like a rank for all of them, for any of them. I sort of just have like all of them in categories in my head.
All hail.
And those categories, like, they seem really abstract to me. Like, I wouldn't even know where to begin to explain them if I wanted someone to know about them. I gotta say, there's something about how they've presented Chlorinde so far that I'm getting a very similar vibe as Raiden Shogun, but
Blaze over.
who else can I compare her to in Genshin?
Adorn my night.
Born of ice and frost. Access denied.
So like she hasn't said a word, right? And there's something attractive about that, at least to me. Like this, I don't know. It's just, especially with that scene where she just had her sword out in her hand, like slowly walking menacingly behind all the enemies, and then they cut the trailer to make it look like she was actually leading the mecha. And then like 2 seconds later, she's actually like destroying all the mecha. So there goes that image of her in my head, because like it looked like, okay, imagine the type of scene where you're all trying to fight against like the kingdom or whatever, like just your group of 3 or 4 or 5 people, and then you're up against like the whole army, and then like the general is right there behind them, just walking menacingly, not even like just with that straight face, not even flinching, just walking really slowly towards you behind the army, and then you're about to lose, and like you're still, it feels so hopeless, but and then somehow like it looks so attractive to me. I don't know why. She gives me like a Raiden Shogun vibe, but Raiden Shogun just the Raiden Shogun just wouldn't shut up. Like she just kept talking. I still like the Raiden Shogun. I still find her really attractive, but the fact that she kept talking, and I guess she talks like she's like really she has a lot of pride, especially in her combat abilities, which is fine. I understand. She is the Raiden Shogun after all. Who is more powerful than her, right? So she has every right to talk like that, sure. But then the talkativeness sort of is like minus a few points for me. But then like Chlorinde has not opened her mouth at all. Haven't heard a single word out of her so far. And she gives me the Raiden Shogun vibes, and she hasn't said a word. So she's even better somehow. And be my style, as she's gonna be a sword user. Have you watched what the what? Refureta anime. No, I haven't heard of it. I can recommend. Nobody will regret after watching it. Okay, okay. Well, what kind of anime is it? Like, what is it about? What genre is it? Hey, what's up, Toast? How's it going, man?
Teamwork is dreamwork. Born of ice and frost. Access denied.
Oh, I didn't get my didn't get all my energy back. If you like Danmachi, it would be for Georgie. Really? Really? Okay, well, yeah. So, what genre is it? Is it like fantasy? Touch Danmachi after hearing from this chat. Oh, really? Oh, you watched it? Okay, okay. So if you, yeah, since you saw it already, and then you think it's like, it's for people who like Danmachi, I might give it a try.
Now it's testing my patience.
Adventure time.
Sure, sure. Well, hang on. What was it called again? Arifureta. Arifureta. Is that even the right way to say it? Arifureta. Toast, I have absolutely no faith in you, man. Also, I can't believe you still remember that, man.
I'm going in. We go. Born of ice and frost. Access denied. Let's light it up.
Again.
Fantasy? Oh my god. Okay. Well, I'm not really into the second what is it? Genre that you said, but I'm into the first one, so I'll still give it a try. Isekai. Oh, okay. I like Isekai too.
Everybody stand back.
I think I don't. So okay, I think the Isekai like fantasy genre is quite popular, because why else would there be like a million of them if it wasn't so popular? I mean, I enjoy it. Yeah, I like it too. Sure, I'll give it a try. Hang on, let me put it in a notepad. Hang on. All right. Cheers, buddy. GPU goes boom later after stream. I mean, that would be awful, especially because the CPU I have does not have onboard graphics.
Teamwork is dreamwork. No touching. Born of ice
And I absolutely do not have the money to buy a replacement right now. But I actually am planning like one day far into the future, like 5 to 8 years from now. I don't know. I'm hoping that my GPU lasts until then, like 5 to 8 years, 5 to 10 years from now. That like maybe I will get an upgrade. Right now, like with the current lineup of GPUs available now, I think the 3060 would be a nice to have. But then, of course, 5 to 10 years from now, like, I'm sure there'd be like 7, I don't know, like 3 to 5 more generations of NVIDIA graphics cards. And who knows, in 5 to 10 years from now, Intel might become a pretty successful player in the GPU industry. I'm actually rooting for Intel. I actually do hope that Intel can somehow break into the industry and break the sort of monopoly that NVIDIA has. I know that AMD's GPUs are getting better, and they're sort of along the lines of like some of the mid-tier GPUs that Nvidia has. But and they're there. Like it's sort of somewhat a duopoly in the GPU industry right now between AMD and Nvidia. And I hope that Intel, comes into the space to break the duopoly. Also, hey, what's up, Abby? How are you, man? Oh yes, event. That's right. Oh yeah, wait. The thing is right here. Where is she? Oh okay, it was over here. NPC. To start the event. I need Fontaine right now, I'm so impatient. I am actually quite excited for Fontaine, but then like I'm like, please not yet. There's still a bit of content that I can milk. I haven't done Kaya's what is it called? Hangout yet. Is it called Moshuko Tensei? Sure. What genre is it, Toast? Yeah, I still have a bit of content to milk. I haven't done Kaya's Hangout, so I hope that I have time to do it sometime in the next few days. And I want to do it on stream, just so I have footage of it in case I want footage of it in the future. Because when Fontaine comes, I won't have time to do anything else other than explore, do the Archon quests, etc. Also, when Fontaine comes, it won't fit on my SSD anymore. So I'm gonna be forced to play it on my hard disk drive. That being said, I actually am quite pleased that I'm actually quite pleased that recently I was able to buy an SSD. It's not a replacement for my current SSD. It's more gonna be my game drive. I bought a it's still in the mail. Still haven't got it yet. So while I am excited for Fontaine, I'm not excited yet because my SSD hasn't come. So I don't so I'm gonna have to be forced to play Genshin with Genshin on my HDD, which is like really slow. Hang on. Where were they again? I think, okay, so it's not here. I sort of still remember where they are. Okay, it's not there, so it's over here then. And I don't want to have to play Genshin on my hard disk drive because load times are really slow. And in fact, so when I go into the character selection screen, I can feel the delay. Like the sound will come out. Wait. Isn't it supposed to be here? Why isn't it here? Oh, there it is. What? How did I miss that? And Fontaine, I like literally right now I have 2 gigabytes of free space. So Fontaine will absolutely not fit on my SSD anymore. So that's why I had to buy the additional SSD. I went with an M.2 PCIe one too. Mobile player is gonna be suffering, aka me. You don't have any more storage? Is your storage full? It will be 20 gigabytes on PC, but I don't have to worry. 20 gigabytes on PC. What do you mean? Genshin will be like the whole of Genshin, or are you talking about just the update? Because Genshin on PC is not 20 gigabytes. So if you're talking about like how much more it will add to the current you know, the current storage space or storage consumption of Genshin, then sure, I guess. But if you're talking about the whole Genshin, oh, just the update, okay, yeah. 20 gigabytes, sounds reasonable, but I think it's a little too much. I don't think they would, no, you know what? Yeah, they are adding a ton of stuff this time, because I remember the last update, like Sumeru, was not 20 gigabytes, at least not initially. Not initially. At first, it was like, I think it was like 8 to 10. Or I could be wrong. It was like somewhere between 5 to 10 gigabytes, and then they slowly released more and more of the more and more parts of it, and then they're like, oh, hang on. Where is this? I looked in the thing already. I looked in the 3 spots that they are supposed to be in. Why aren't they there? Oh. Why didn't you pop up earlier? Okay. Sure. Oh, okay. There you are. My mobile has 64 gigs. I'm suffering a lot. Oh, jeez. With 64 gigabytes, I think Genshin might still fit on your phone. But you'd have to sort of uninstall everything. Yeah, like you would have to uninstall Discord. You'd have to just use Discord on a browser. And like basically all your other apps would have to be used on a browser. Like if you use Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, whatever, you'd have to use them all on a browser instead of like having the app. Jeez, that sounds terrible. Hey, what's up, what? My mobile has 128 gigabytes, and now 9 gigabytes full. 9, hang on, you type 9 GB6 full. What does that mean? I'm confused. Slap your dog to shut up? I would if I had a dog. That's not mine, man. I wish I could shoot them in the face. Unfortunately, that's not mine. The dogs aren't stupid. Dogs will be dogs. Dogs are animals. They just follow instinct. It's the owners that are stupid. They know that there are people around them. They know that they're not the only ones living around. Can't shut their dogs up. It should be common sense. When you're even like even when you're like a teenager, wouldn't like, right? Like a lot of teenagers are embarrassed about making a lot of noise in an environment where they're not the only person there. As an adult, it should be common sense. What are your favorite dog breeds? I wouldn't say I have a dog breed favorite. I'm not really into dogs. Like, the only thing I like about animals is the fact that I like animals more than people. Mostly because animals will not judge you. Animals do not judge. They do not have like, they don't have any what's the word I'm looking for? Any prejudice. They don't care what you look like. They don't care what you smell like. They only care about whether you're good to them or not. Yo, what's up, Leo? Just passing by the stream, man. Yo, appreciate it, man. Good to see you again. How are you, man? You seem really busy these days. I hope everything's going well. Bro's a razor. a Razor in real life.
Yeah, cool, Razor. Razor raised by wolves, not dogs.
We should look for a place to take shelter. I'll be fine, but we don't want you catching a cold.
Yo, what's up, Seon? How are you, man? I'm good, thanks for asking. Oh, time to disappear for 4 months. For 4 months? Jeez. Are you, is this your, hang on, where's the thing? No, it's not here. Okay. So is this your, so if it's 4 months, I guess like you come out every 3 times a year. So I guess this is your one of the 3 times a year that you come out and touch grass. But hey, it was good to see you again, man. Yeah, take care, Toast. See ya. You know how to nuke child? I mean, how? Well, I mean, okay. So the idea is that you vape. That you vape your melee burst. That's the idea. You basically want to stack as many things as possible on top of it. Like for example, some elemental mastery buffs, attack buffs. What else? Swirl maybe to reduce resistances. And that's the idea. And like if you could figure out a rotation of which characters buffs and enemy debuffs to put together. And then, yeah, that's it. Like, there's actually quite a wide variety of ways to do it. I don't know which combination gives you the most. Like, you could do it with, like, for example, Mona's Omen. Right? Mona's Omen gives you a pretty big buff. It's not exactly a buff. It's more like enemies that have the Omen on them will take more damage. You could also do it with Kazuha, for example. You swirl Hydro with VV. And at the same time, you get Kazuha's buff. You could also do it with Sucrose. Sucrose gives you elemental mastery. Like instead of like with Kazuha, you get elemental damage. With Sucrose, you get the VV. What is it called? Reducing enemy resistances to whatever element that you swirl, and you get elemental mastery with Sucrose. Whereas with Kazuha, you get elemental damage. I don't actually know which one. Like you could also go with Bennett, right? With to give him an attack boost. What else? Yeah, there are plenty of ways to do it. Kind of busy, man. A little bored with Genshin. I mean, like even I'm kind of bored with Genshin. Not gonna lie. Yeah, but then it's expected because. All right. I mentioned this. Hang on. Okay, there it is. I mentioned this in the special program. I said, if for you guys that are bored with Genshin or complaining that all the content is gone, there's no content, Genshin is dying, whatever. There's where all their effort went into. It went into making Fontaine and this new like energy. I don't know what it's called. Alignment. What is it called? System. Like what is it called? What are they called? Uja and Numa. Yeah, that thing. I don't know what that system's called. Yeah, that's where all their time and developer time went to developing all of that. Probably also making the story happen. Of course, the writing team is what makes the story, but then like putting that into the game takes developers. Oh boy, we're not gonna reach. We're not gonna reach. Nope.
Follow the wind.
I should pull for Yelan or Zhongli or Child. Oh boy, that's rough. Among those three, I think, at least again for me, I think Yelan is the most valuable among those three. She has the most uses. Yeah, between Zhongli, Child, and Yelan, I think Yelan has the most uses. Zhongli certainly offers the most amount of comfort among those three, and then Child is sort of he's like a spare Xingqiu. Huta did 589k. She was 8 talent. If I upgrade to crown, how much would she do? Honestly, I don't know, man. I don't know what, because like, I don't know how to do Genshin math, really. Yeah, all I have is just experience, and that's it. I don't actually do Genshin math. Yeah, I wish I could though. That would actually be pretty cool. Although I would honestly, I think I would use up so much more of my time than I already do. Why is there only one there? There's supposed to be 2. Oh, there are 2. You sneaky bugger. I can't point higher. Add more main story. I mean, there's already a lot of main story, man. They just are... They're being very slow about it. And I absolutely hate it. It's so excruciating having to wait for every... For just, like, basically droplets of the... Okay, it's not down there. Droplets of the main story. That's sort of one of the biggest reasons why I still play Genshin, is like I want to keep going with the story. It really is an anime, right? Like basically a game with an anime story in it. And that's what Genshin is. And the same with like when you watch an anime and then they release like a season every year. That's what Genshin feels like to me. No, I know completely. RJ is ignoring me for an eternity. I am? Oh, it doesn't feel like an eternity. Oh, well, that didn't work. Okay, I guess I already used my resin. Time to put you over here. Keep on back. Not coming back for after 10 minutes or 3 minutes. What? Setup reveal now? No, there's hardly a setup, man. It's just in fact, like the case looks nice, I think. Especially for how cheap it is. But okay, just swapping accounts, guys. The case looks nice, especially for how cheap it is. But oh wait. Hang on. I need to take care of something. There's this event thing, this browser event. So I have to... Where's the display? Ah, there it is. Okay, I'm sure you guys can see that. I wonder which browser this is gonna open in. Oh, there it is. For me, Zhongli is better than Child, better than Yelan. Sure. Wait, why does the brain ignore the second the? Why does the... Oh, interesting. Okay. Cool, cool. It does, doesn't it? I really was going to skip this web event, and then I realized how easy it is to do. You're literally just clicking. Like there's... Hang on. What is... Why is this... Okay. Oh, it's not loaded yet. Okay, sure. Yeah, you're literally just clicking buttons. There's hardly anything to do. So I'm like, okay, sure. 120 primos for like 3 minutes of your life. Honestly, if I think about it that way, I don't think it's worth it at all. That guy's going ham. I think the web event's kind of annoying, honestly. Just I don't know. It's kind of annoying because like it's way too many clicks and whatever, just for how little reward you're getting in return. I don't know. I don't know how people visiting that website. Hang on. I gotta swap accounts. Hang on. I don't know how that benefits Hoyo at all. Because like it's usually when you want traffic on a website to make money out of it, you put ads on it. But because it's part of their game, they can't put ads on it. You know Kafka and Blade from Honkai. I know you don't play though. No, I do not know them. The only time I've ever played Honkai was back in I think it was 15 or 16. I think it was 2016. Yeah. I played in 2016, downloaded it, played it for like half an hour on my day off. And I was like, okay, this game seems really nice. Probably one of the better looking games I've seen on mobile. And I thought it was pretty unique at the time. And I'm like, I also realized if this is fully mobile only, this is gonna kill my phone. And I know that phones sort of like they do die like eventually, but then like just using a phone so intensively as how you like, you know, like how you would when you play a 3D game on it, especially one as high quality as Honkai Impact. I don't know, I feel like I'd be reducing my phone's lifespan by like half if I did that. Go to all Wi-Fi servers. Step 2. Reset every server. Step 3. You're done. Sure. Question is, how do you get to every Wi-Fi server? And when you say Wi-Fi server, what does that mean? Are you talking about local area network? That's a lot. If you're talking about, if that's what you're talking about, then that's gonna be a lot of there's gonna be a lot of routers that to reset there. You'd have to be just as fast as Santa Claus to cover it all in one night. Play Star Rail, it's good. Nah, I'm good, man. I don't like turn-based games. Yeah, I know like there is I sort of do like strategy games, and I know that there's a certain strategy because it's a turn-based game. There's a part of it that you can sort of predict what happens, judging by your stats and judging by enemy stats. I know that you can't judge all of it, especially if it's like new gameplay, if it's new monsters or whatever, because you won't know their stats. But yeah, so there is like at least a portion of it that you can strategize. And I like games like that, but I just don't like having to wait. Yeah, I just don't like having to wait for combat to happen. I want to make the combat happen. I don't want it to just happen.
One with nature.
Bin Kafkar like Hu Tao and Zhongli. I got both special characters Honkai. They're the best characters in Honkai. Oh, nice, man. Congratulations. I wonder when they're gonna make Zhongli relevant again in the meta. Because right now, all Zhongli is in Genshin's meta is just a shielder, and that's it. Like, if every time someone asks, "Hey, I want to use Zhongli," the answer is always, "If you need a shielder, then use them."
Thank you for...
Oh, I forgot. Oh, no. I did do that. Okay. I didn't forget. Cool. Play CODM is very good and toxic. When Genshin will have PvP? No, I don't think they'll ever have PvP, man. If they've had plenty of opportunities to put PvP into the game. Like, for example, a scoreboard for Abyss. They didn't do it. I'm sure they have the data for it, but they didn't put it in. They didn't put it in because people are gonna feel bad about it. And some people are gonna feel so bad about it that they're gonna quit Genshin. Because not everybody can be number 1. Not everybody can be top 100, top 1000.
Solidify!
Game's up. Sun's over. Clouds high. Birds come. Quietly now.
I mean, they don't want that to happen. The fun is limited, but the grind is eternal. Yep, that's sort of the balance that they've decided to keep with Genshin. They know that people will keep playing it because the grind is eternal, because they're slowly pacing out the story, because they're not done with releasing all the content in Genshin yet. They still have to get to Natlan, we still have to get to Snezhnaya, and who knows what's next.
Here comes the cash. As one with wind and cloud. Gotcha.
PvP games are toxic. They are. Yeah, but then like look at Genshin. Genshin. Okay. Well, I will admit there is a very wholesome part of the Genshin community, but because the Genshin community is so big, there's also a very toxic part of the Genshin community. And it's weird because like Genshin has no way to be competitive. There's no competitive Genshin gameplay. I know that you could I know that there's this like tournament, like Abyss tournament in China, and it's not like official. It's not official. It's just it's also not just fan made. It's an actual event. There's actual prize money to it. And they're but it's not part of the game. They're just sort of making it up. Oh wait, I think that was 3. Okay, that was 3. Right, but other than that, the part of the Genshin community that is so toxic it's so weird because like there are so many kinds of toxic players in Genshin. So some toxic players are the players that think that they know it all. They think that this character or this character, that character is better than this, better than that. You should do it like this. You should do it like that. And then like they're so try hard when it comes to the meta, and they think that the thing that they think is right is the only right thing, and that you're wrong if you don't think that. There's that kind. There's the meta toxic player, and then there's also the waifu collector, husbando collector toxic player that just love their favorite characters to death. That they will fight you just to present their waifu / husbando as the best one.
Off we go. Adventure time.
Like no matter how many times you've acknowledged that they like this character, that character, and you're like, okay, great, yeah, they are good, right? No matter how many times you agree with them, they just keep talking about it. They just won't shut up about it.
Off we go.
Everyone likes what they like, man. So yeah, there's so many types of toxic players. Like despite Genshin not having any official competitive part of it in the game, it still has a pretty toxic community. That being said, it does also have a really wholesome part of the community compared to competitive games, where I don't think wholesome exists in competitive games at all. People will say stay on PvP platforms. If you can kill, you have skill issue. Yep. Oh, sorry. Can't. I said can't. You have skill issue. Yeah, right. That's all they say. Right, and that's basically like the floor. I think that's like the point in most other games, in non-competitive games. That's the point where most people in the community would start trying to help you, start trying to figure out what you're doing wrong, what you're doing like, or what you can do to get better. In competitive games, you suck. You just suck. Just quit. Why do you even play this game? Like that's just what happens in competitive games.
Rain cutter, time to know my sword. Let it light it up.
Even content creators, not all of them, of course, not everyone, but even content creators in competitive games are quite toxic. And being toxic benefits them too, because it generates drama. Drama generates views and interactions. It generates conversations online, because people are gonna take sides in drama between creators, because they have, if it was chicken fighting, then it would actually, yeah, it'd be like they have chickens to bet on. Minecraft. Okay, well, that's the thing with Minecraft. Because of the nature of the game, it is just there's okay. Basically, Minecraft is a game, but more than that, Minecraft is sort of a platform, sort of like Roblox. I mean, exactly like Roblox. It's just the platform that you can make games into. Like, you can play the base game, or you can make your own game in the game. And you can make it whatever you want to. Whatever you want it to be. You can make it competitive, you can make it not competitive, and just basically, kind of like what Genshin is. Wait, a thought just occurred to me. Is that possible? Like, can someone replicate Genshin in Minecraft? Would that be possible? I've never actually had that thought before. Is my thing still... Oh yeah, okay. It is still like... And it's just like how I wanted it to be. I will say about Minecraft though, the one thing that I don't like about Minecraft is most creators, like if you want to be a creator in the Minecraft community, like the easiest way for success would just be to be like hyper active. And I mean, I don't really think that, I don't think that's a bad thing, but I don't know, like there's something about it that I don't like. Just it feels weird, right? Like if you're like in your late 20s or mid 30s, and the fact that you have to be as hyperactive as like a 12-year-old to be attractive, it feels really weird. Like to me, it feels really weird. It looks really weird. I don't know if anyone shares my sentiment about it. Feel free to not share my sentiment about it, but yeah, that's how I feel about it. I'm 13, but I have the energy of a sugar-activated 5-year-old. Hey, maybe when you get to... Hang on. No, don't have enough. Maybe when you get to your mid-30s, you'll still be like a 12-year-old, maybe. If you maintain that energy. And then you could be a Minecraft creator. A Minecraft content creator, sure.
Osmanthus wine tastes the
Just
same.
swapping over to the third account now. Pretty much done with the second account. Minecraft equals Genshin, but older. I am actually planning to, like, why the title is, I titled this stream as reviewing the 4.0 special program, because I am actually planning to watch the 4.0 special program again. Not the whole thing, but just the parts that I really, that matter to me. I also want to listen to the, to Lynette's, and Freminet's kits again. I know that they were super vague about it. They hardly gave anything about it, actually. They hardly said anything about the kits, about their kits, but I don't know. I wanna hear more about it just so I can sort of visualize it a bit more, how they might fit into the meta, or whether they're gonna create their own meta. From what I remember about Lyney's kit, he seems like he's not gonna fit into some of the more mainstream meta nowadays, like vape or melt. Because he's a bow user, so I'm assuming he's gonna apply way too much pyro for any cryo character to keep up with. Hydro, maybe. That's possible, because, I mean, similar to Yoimiya, right? Yoimiya is a bow pyro character too, and even Yelan can keep, Yelan's hydro application can keep up with Yoimiya's. So maybe. I don't know. From what I remember of his kit, he seems like he's going to be a very mono pyro-ish character.
Here comes the cash. Busted.
You headed off already, Chauvin? Alright, take care, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. We need a face reveal? No. I mean, if I ever reach maybe 100k subs, then yeah, I'll probably do it. But I don't think that's gonna happen, so yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it benefits me a lot, because so once I do a face reveal, I will feel obliged to have my webcam on my streams, and that would be more things for my computer to do. It would have to be processing the 1080p video from my screen and then the 1080p video from my webcam, and then like putting them together in OBS. And I'm pretty sure my PC is good enough for that, but I don't know, I just feel like I don't need to. It wouldn't change the type of content that I already have. Yeah, like plus the fact that if people see my face, that would just be one more point of vulnerability, like internet vulnerability. And while maybe it's not, you know, it's not gonna allow someone to hack my devices or whatever, but it is gonna allow people to like look me up, and then like I just don't want to. I just don't want it to happen. I'd rather just remain anonymous on the internet.
Thank you for...
Especially because the city I live in is kind of small. So when someone figures out what city I'm in, then it's not going to be hard to find me. And I don't mind meeting people that, you know, people that watch me on streams. I don't mind that. But like, it introduces the possibility of like stalkers and whatever, and like I just don't want that. I don't want to have to move somewhere just because someone's being creepy. I want to have to move where my son goes to school. I don't want to have to move my internet service just because of it. It's so annoying. Well, people can be very nice, but people could also be very weird.
Solidify.
Especially now that now with all this AI mumbo jumbo going on, imagine someone just gets a picture of your face, like gets a few pictures of your face. They can use that as a sample to create content that just makes you say something that you never said before. Right? I don't know. Like, I think, to me, that is very scary. That is very scary that someone can just take a few pictures of your face and a few samples of your voice, which a lot of people already have. It's on the internet. It's like, I saw on my streams. And people could just use that to train an AI to just make a video and audio of you. And it's actually getting really good at it.
Quietly now.
Yeah, but you know, in the off chance that I do ever make it to like 100k subs, then I might do it. Yeah, I might do it at 100k. Although I am definitely not expecting that to happen. Would be nice if that happens. Would be awesome. But I'm not expecting it to happen, especially because of how average Joe my type of content is. Average Joe just isn't meant to be big as a creator. To be big as a creator, you'd have to be really outlandish and out there. This update is totally boring. Next week will be super fun. Of course, it's it's, you know, it's the update before a 0.0 update. So naturally it would be boring. They have very few developers working on this update, because most of their developers are working on the big one that's coming. I mean, you mentioned that you're taking developer classes, so I'm sure you understand a bit of this. In development, it's not actually, well, skill will make, having more skill in most cases will equal more work per amount of time. But at some point, any more skill will not give you more productivity, because there are just certain things in game development that are just like really repetitive, and things that you have to do over and over again, like hundreds and hundreds of times. And there are certain things where, like, for example, okay, let's say for a 3D modeler, for example, a 3D modeler or a texture artist, no, a 3D modeler and a texture artist. They're okay. You know what? We'll go back to we'll go back to Genshin. Right there. Oh, you know what? Okay, I guess that one's over. So let's change this back to Genshin. For let's say a 3D modeler, for example. You look at this rock and then you're like, that probably takes like, let's say this takes you an hour to 3D model, and for the texture artist to draw a texture of it. And then you're thinking, maybe, but like no, not this rock, but like this whole mountainside. Okay, maybe that takes like an hour or 2 hours for a 3D modeler and a texture artist to model and texture. Sure. And then you're looking at this door, and it's a lot smaller than this mountainside. Most people would think that it probably takes like 20 minutes to make this door. But then that would absolutely be wrong, because this door has a lot more detail in it. And on top of that, because they want it to look old, they can't just make a perfect looking door. They have to model the imperfections in it. And there's no 3D simulator. There's no physics simulator out there that will simulate aging, unless if sure, you could make that happen, but you'd have to use up a lot more computing power than you would if you just made the model yourself. You included all the imperfections, like some of these like broken edges, for example. People had to model that, but not only model, they had to texture that too, because if they just put in like a flat solid color on it, it would be very hard to see the details, like this, for example, this tiny streak of dark color in there that had to be drawn by somebody. Either that, or they made a really high polygon model of it, and then they put in like all the colors and all the lighting into it, and then they baked the lighting onto a texture, an image texture, and then they put it onto the lower polygon count model, and then they had to map the baked image texture onto the lower polygon count 3D model. Versus, okay, sure, this mountain, you could say like, okay, this mountain has imperfections. Somebody had to draw all those details, right? They had to model all of that. Sure, but then if you look at it, it's actually flat. It's not actually in there. This was drawn by a texture artist, and they made the details look so good to make it look like it's 3D, but no, it's not. Like, look, this edge is straight. Like, there's just one tip in here, but it looks really rounded because of the textures. Genshin uses Unity. I mean, it's just a quick Google away. You can just Google it. What game engine does Genshin use? Unity. I'm actually fairly surprised that Genshin is optimized enough to be to work pretty well, even on low end, maybe not low end, but like mid-range devices. It works pretty well even on mid-range devices, despite being on Unity. Like, I'm not saying that Unity is a bad game engine, because the optimizations are mostly up to the game developers and not just solely on the game engine, but part of it is also the game engine as well. Like, because if the optimization is already baked into the game engine, then developers won't have to make it themselves. Oh yeah, hang on. I think this is Chrome. Is this Chrome? Yeah, there is Chrome. Okay, nice. Why is your ping so high? Because I play on the North America server, but I'm in Asia. So this is why my ping's so high. My ping today is actually quite low. 248. Okay, so it's not, no, actually, well, it was low about an hour ago, but now it's not. Yeah, about an hour ago, my ping was actually as low as it gets. Like, my ping an hour ago was like 220, and 217 or 216 is probably the lowest ping I've seen I have. But yeah, it's not great. Here's how they made small details. They upscale it. They use pitch and yaw. And then color number. Then use depth and width and smoothing. There's a variety of techniques that they can use. RJ, what game would you use to model on? It wasn't a game. It wasn't a game. It was a 3D. It was a VR simulator. It was going to be for the. It was going to be for the. What is it called? The maritime industry. Business decisions. I think I don't know if they made good business decisions or not. All I know is that I didn't agree with a lot of the business decisions they made, so I decided to leave before anything happened. I stuck there for about a year, but nothing happened, and I just couldn't agree with a lot of the business decisions that they made, so I decided, I'm like, this is taking too long. It was a startup. We weren't earning any money, so I was putting up with $300 a month. That's literally what I was earning. $300 a month. In the Philippines, sure, that's like minimum wage in some cities, but $300 a month, having a son to raise, and my wife not having work because she has to take care of our son, that's horrible. That's horrible. I could barely afford diapers for him. And I basically sent back, like, I would just leave like $10. Like every time I got paid, every payday, I would send most of my salary. I would send most of my salary, and then I would just leave like $10 to myself, just so I could buy like snacks or whatever. Because food was free, living quarters were free as well. But yeah, it was awful. I put up with it for a year because I thought there was potential, and then I slowly started noticing some really questionable business decisions, until eventually it was like, oh, this isn't going anywhere. So I left, and I mean, I don't really follow them on social media, so I don't know what came of their project. I'm sure they probably just stopped it and started another one. I don't know. Where are you from? The Philippines. Yeah. Yeah, me and his friend in a North America server. I mean, like, even if I did, I don't really interact with anyone in game. Sure. I think upscaling it is what they do. Yeah, that could be one. It depends on the situation, really. Because there are situations where doing the method that you said would be the fastest, and there are situations where other methods would be easier. And some people prefer doing it this way or that way. Yeah. Alright, anyway, I got to turn off... hang on. Gotta turn off the music, because I want to review this again. No. Okay, I want to watch the trailer again. Hey, what's up, Zenter? How's it going, man? I'm so sorry, my friend. I cannot read Russian. Why did I have to go now? Bye. Okay. Alright, hey, thanks for hanging out with us, Shelvan. Take care, man. Some of my friends from back in high school actually took up magic as a hobby. And they often came over to my house because they didn't have internet or a computer in their houses. So they often came to my house to just get on Google and YouTube to try to look up magic tricks and like how to do them. So while I don't know a lot, but I know like a certain basic logic of sleight of hand.
好久不见，旅行者们，我是你们老大伟哥。这次依旧是由我来担任原神版本前瞻节目的主持人，感受再见面了，在过去追版本 PV， 开启新的旅途吧。
I'm not sure exactly when it began, but a prophecy has been circulating around Fontaine. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne.
I, Focalor, hereby welcome you to the nation of Hydro, and acknowledge the value and significance of your trip.
She
Now,
sounds like Fischl.
you may rejoice in this.
She actually sounds like Fischl. Like her tone sounds very Fischl-like, and even the voice
In your
sounds.
opinion,
Well,
do you
not
think
exactly
it's right
like
to
Fischl,
treat
but
a
very
trial
similar.
like it's an opera?
To the people of Fontaine, the line between a trial and a performance can be a little blurred. Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epicles. Watch carefully now. Blink and you might miss it. Step right up. And over here is my sister Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant.
Ta-da! Step on up!
That looks very much like Yolanda.
Let the magic begin!
Like her old E.
Here comes the finale.
I really like how that burst looks, by the way. It looks so theatrical, although I don't know how it'll be. I don't have very high hopes about how good it'll be in combat.
I want to spend some time at the bottom of the sea in peace.
Getting gear!
I'm feeling
Going
like
under!
some Eula vibes with this music.
If you look up at the sky from
I don't
far
know
enough
why.
underwater, even the sun is soft on the ice. These fossils are all that's left of these beautiful creatures. I wonder how long before the rest of the world becomes part of this underwater museum too.
Maybe they made the music sound cool because they're both cryo. Get it? Cool. Cryo. Because ice is cryo and cryo and ice is cool, right? Okay, I'll just set up. Hey, what's up, Hoshino? How's it going? Wait,
The water is gradually swallowing
isn't
our
I
memories.
like that idol in like this
It won't be long before
anime?
it swallows us.
I don't know if that's right. I actually haven't
We've
watched
been
it.
trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately?
Rain. It's raining.
We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
Is this part of the show?
You've got to be kidding!
What happened?
Charges have now been pressed, and as such, a trial is in order. Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know and seek the protection of the guards.
So menacing
Dear
from
God,
back there.
it's a whole army
I
of
love how she
Gardamex.
walks so slowly
I
and
believe
lovingly.
this is indeed the finale.
Your so-called justice,
really,
your beloved drama,
like
turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people.
In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear.
And I was really surprised to see Tartaglia here.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
So I think they've done a really good job of cutting up the trailer to give us a few hints about what the story might be like, but they've also cut it up to be a little bit misleading, I think. Because like back here, they showed us this footage of Clorinde. Hang on. No. Well, I can't find it. They showed us this footage of Clorinde being behind the mecha, like the
we
mecha
must
things.
know all we can about this nation.
Such and seek is in order.
Oh, here.
Therefore, you would be wise.
Right, where it looks like she's leading a mecha army towards us.
To tell everything you know and seek.
But I think they're just cutting it in a way to mislead us a little bit.
The protection of the gods.
Dear God,
I think that's really good.
It's a whole army of Gardamex.
So that's usually what filmmakers do, right? That's usually what filmmakers do, especially with a film or like a series of films where you have like multiple films in a series, or if not films, then maybe like a TV show, for example, or a series. And that's a way that filmmakers keep you engaged. They keep you engaged, and at the same time they keep you interested in it. Because if they just release like every bit of the movie or your series, then you'd be like, okay, well, I already know what happens, I don't need to watch it. So they have to give you a few hints as to what might happen, but at the same time you have to cut it up to make it seem like this is happening. But then when they watch it, they still go like, wait, it wasn't like this, it wasn't like that, and then they get you there.
I believe this.
And then now that you got this kind of feeling from one of their content, one of their films, one of their episodes, now you want more.
Is indeed the finale.
Your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people.
In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a...
Yeah, so Tartaglia here seems against the law. So I don't know whose side Tartaglia is going to be on. I don't think... I think the Traveler might be on the other side of the law. Again, just like we've always been. So, maybe except for Mondstadt, I guess. Like we were basically the hero immediately, day one.
A joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
Okay, well, I want to hear about the whole underwater content thing.
相信屏幕前这些
旅行在4的在每一个年度的大版本里，
So I
都给玩家去
remember
呈现一些
listening to
完
this
全不
guy
同于
talk
之前版本的内
because
容。
I
那在枫丹的话呢，
on
其
the
中比较重要的
on
一
the
块
day of the
就是
special
水下区域的
program.
探索了。
之前在3.8版本的这个前瞻节目中啊，我们就已经知道了。
So on the day of the special program, on Twitch they had hard-coded subs that were already in the video, that were all in English. But then when the YouTube one happened, for some reason there were no English subtitles available, so I couldn't rewatch it. to review some of the stuff, but I remember the way that he talked about the stuff down here is very much like how an excited developer would sound like. A developer who's like excited to share what they've created and what they've decided to create with the people. And I really, just like there, I really like that they didn't add some sort of like stamina or oxygen bar that that limits how long we can stay underwater, because, and I think I agree that was the right decision, because the type of game that they want Genshin to be is not the type of game that Genshin was back when Dragonspine was released. When Dragonspine was released, they gave us like the sheer cold mechanic, and everyone hated it. Some people really liked it because it kept you on your toes, some of the really hardcore players out there, but most players hated it. And the reason for that is most of Genshin's players are the very casual kind of players. Very casual kind of players, like really young players that can't that aren't good enough yet at playing video games to have to deal with these kinds of mechanics, on top of like having to face off in combat and manage inventory at the same time, and then have to like make reactions happen.
是的，冲刺呢会消耗水下特有的体力，不过水下体力条的长度不需要额外解锁，水下也会存在相当多的复苏水团，靠近这些鱼群呢，
So it
可以
seems like
恢复
this
鱼。
is similar to those flowers in Sumeru that are on the side of the mountain that give you stamina to help you with
除了自由
climbing.
的潜泳以外啊，我们在水下也提供了一种快速的长途移动的方式，叫做洋流。在洋流当中呢，玩家会朝
And
着
this
目
one
的地
seems like
快速的移动。移动期间，玩家也可以在洋流中自
According
由
to
的调
them,
整位
it
置
seems
和
like
视
it's
角，
similar
观
to
看。
those like yellow things that help you like Spider-Man your way across Sumeru.
除此之外，我们还在设计枫丹水下的时候呀，总觉得这个枫丹的水体啊，它应该有一些更安全啊，悬浮在空间特殊的宝藏，也会有特殊的我觉得陆上区域来供比较宽敞。啊，我们特意的把这些区域啊，实体
I
包
think
裹
they did a
的
really
水
good
当
job
做一
with the
种捷
camera
径
work, because
去
like
进入。他们是
I
完
can easily
移动期
imagine
间，玩家也可以
underwater
在洋流
content
中
like
自
this,
由。
especially because in enclosed spaces. I think it would have been very easy to introduce what's it called, motion sickness. And I really like that if you look closely, the camera angle is actually a lot further than it would be on land. And they did talk about that. They do actually talk about that, the fact that they had to like zoom it out a little bit to help prevent motion sickness.
观看沿途的风景，然后水体呢，被设计路。
那研发团队下的
是吧？初次体，没错。
哎，那么我想问看鸡哥啊，
And they even mention like somewhere along here, they even mention that they've been planning for this since the beginning. Yeah, that they had like a bunch of ideas that they had to, and then eventually as time went on, they slowly ruled out this idea, that idea, this doesn't work, that doesn't work, and then they finally came up with like the final version of it. And generally that is how game development works, especially on a game where it's like continually being developed, like Genshin, where like every period or so they release an update.
枫丹的核心内容之一啊，我们认为水下在枫丹区域占的比例，至少在大世界探索这个维度上，要和陆地五五开才足够。实际上呢，可能随着版本的开放节奏，这个比例会有些出入。
Underwater and the surface content will be like 50-50, yeah, just like there. They said.
以及特训。第一，让现特定的体验。去水下的设计预期中呢，我们不太希望通这样的设计呢，
So here
不代
they're
表
just
说我们牺牲了水下设计
telling
的
us
品质
that
来换取受众啊。相反
they had to put in extra effort to make it look like it's not empty. Because it's very easy to, like, in game development, it's very easy, especially once you go underwater, because there's so much verticality now, there's so much, you're not just filling out 2D space, that like forward, backward, left and right, you also have to fill space like between the up and down axis. So there's so much more space to have to fill up with stuff, with either stuff to do or something to look at. Oh, here it is. They talk about spend some effort navigating the direction. Not to mention increased chance of resulting motion sickness. Made many detail adjustments such as camera's visual range and wide angle parameters. Slow movement effect underwater. Yeah, so it sort of hits two nails at once, because it reduces the chance for motion sickness because you're a little bit zoomed out, and it makes it seem slower, which is how people should be in water. We should be slower underwater. It's just the natural way. Been waiting for a diving mechanic to be added. I mean, like, I don't know how long you've been off of Genshin, but it's kind of, everyone's been kind of expecting it. It's Fontaine, Hydroland, Waterland. What? Yeah, everyone's been kind of expecting it. Although I think the underwater mechanic, like being able to dive underwater, won't extend to all bodies of water across the vat. I think it'll be limited to only certain areas, because they mentioned that along, like somewhere a bit later, they mentioned that they mentioned something like in bodies of water where you could dive into this, that. So it certainly seems like we're not going to be able to dive into just any body of water. Oh, they also decided to not take Genshin's like OG combat mechanic and just put it underwater. They mentioned that it would be way too difficult and way too weird. Hey, what's up, Tortilla? How are you, man? Way too weird to put it underwater, and that they've been working on it and they've just kept playtesting it. That it just doesn't work underwater, so they've had to make up a new combat mechanic for it. I think that's pretty cool. I think that probably ended up being a lot more work. Yep. So I think combat underwater is going to be quite simple compared to Genshin's traditional elemental combat system. That being said, I do like this like Uja/Numa mechanic. I think it adds a new flavor to the game, but I don't like the fact that it can be easily used to force us to have to get new characters. And I understand getting the new characters is part of the new update experience. I understand that, but what if you can't? Because you're saving up for someone. And if that's the case, if you're forced to have to play these new characters, what's the point of me getting all those characters back then? Okay, sure, I can use them in like all the other regions, but I want to play the new region because there's a new region. And I can't play them in here just because they don't have this new mechanic. I don't know. Like, I like that it's like a fresh new thing to the game, but it adds the possibility of being abused in a way that for finances. And again, I understand it's a business. They can't keep Genshin running if they don't make money. And I understand that. So I feel weird about it. Like, I'm like, I don't like this. I like this, but I don't like this. But I understand why I don't like it. I think they mentioned that Fontaine will be like half underwater and half land. Yeah, they do. Like a few minutes ago. Yeah, I think maybe the Traveler and Lynette will have different alignments. Oh, that's what it's called. Alignment? Is that what it's called? Alignment system? So you can solve all the puzzles. I hope so. Yeah, I certainly do hope so. I've heard from rumors from people that Lynette will be Uja. I do hope that Traveler will be Numa. Just so at least you could deal with it. These codes are expired because this was like a week ago already. Okay, anyway, all I'm really here for is the stuff that I think are worth mentioning. I really like this feature, by the way. There's a feature here that they talk about that shows elevation on the map. Wait, what?
之后，对于所有完成魔神任务序章第3部《巨龙与自由之歌》的旅行者
What the?
地图上须弥
Waypoint in the realm of fire. What the? That is near Fontaine. That's awesome.
弗罗右这个靠近枫丹的传送点就会自动解锁，大家就可以借助它快速的来到枫丹边境了。
That's first easily nice. That's pretty cool. That is certainly gonna help out a lot of new players. I think there are actually a lot of new players in Genshin because Genshin doesn't seem to be very friendly towards old players. Like there's, you know, like a lot of the older players are sort of just bored. There's nothing to do for them. But a lot of the new players, oh boy, do they have stuff to do. And I think Genshin is actually quite a good game. Yeah, like especially for newer players. It is like the combat system is kind of rough for new players, but the story part is going to be exhilarating for them. They're gonna love it. That being said, I don't think the way that they're telling the story and presenting it in footage is as good as they could have done it. I think it could be a lot better, but I don't know. Like there's just a lot of dialogue stuff that they're saying that doesn't really need to be said for us to understand the story. They could just show us in the story, but they didn't, and I guess that's because they didn't have enough developers to do it the better way, to do it in a better way, because most of their developers are working on the next 0.0 update. Like, let me tell you, as soon as 4.0 is released, a bunch of their developers are going to start development on 5.0. Right, I'm sure they already did that. They already did a lot of decision making for 5.0, 6.0, 7.0, whatever in the future. They've already done that like years ago, but they're gonna seriously ramp up development for 5.0 as soon as 4.0 drops. Unless if like there's something really wrong with the patch that they have to like fix it immediately.
原因呢，主影
子风还是地位来说都很强的人物度。
Wait,
他
oh, that's never let.
无论从存在感还是地位来答，
对能源体系
风应该都
很发至今在野外遭遇的形态各异的机关敌人，也都是由这种能量所驱动的。而在枫丹人生活和娱乐比较密集的区域，比如说枫丹亭，
There's
还有
so
夜里耶
much
岛，
verticality in Fontaine.
主要是
So
以
okay,
机关敌人
I was actually right. Wait, look at this. So I was actually right about Kirara's kit. About the, you know how Kirara, her hold E can let you climb up walls. So yeah, I was actually right, because there are going to be so many buildings in Fontaine, basically buildings and walls. It's not going to be like Sumeru or Inazuma, where it's mostly going to be cliff faces. You know, and the thing with cliffs is they're not perfectly flat. Some of them are like a little tilted away from you, some of them are tilted towards you, and some of them have crevices that just make it really difficult to climb straight up. In Fontaine, there's going to be a lot of buildings and straight up surfaces, so Kirara's ability to climb up walls is going to be similar to Sayu's ability to basically let you travel fast travel, you travel quickly and conveniently over long flat distances. Kirara's hold E ability is going to allow you to just make climbing vertical surfaces easier. She's like Dendro Sayu. Amount of content developers have to keep up with is crazy, right? Especially because like they have to update on the dot. There's no, like, compared to like Western developers just say like, okay, this update is gonna be delayed. We're gonna have to push this back to August of this year, to December of this year, to early 2024. They keep doing stuff like that. While I don't mind delays, because in some games there is actually content to be played even without the updates. In Genshin, there isn't. They've already scheduled the events, and other than the events for older players, there's really literally nothing to do. And the thing is, they sort of have to balance the game in terms of like the content between pleasing their older players and pleasing the new players, because the new players have so much stuff to do in the game. They have so many quests to do. Like whenever they meet combat situations, like they have to use their resin, they have to fight a boss or something in a quest. That's gonna take like half an hour to an hour. And not only because they're new and they don't know how to play, it's also because they have a very limited selection of characters. Their characters are not built yet because all their resin is going into Morna, going into XP books, into character ascension materials, weapon ascension materials, and not on artifacts. So I understand why they've decided to make Genshin like baby mode in terms of difficulty, because they are trying to cater to a lot of the new players. Because the new players are going to get discouraged that they can hardly play the game because their account is too weak, because it's new and it's young. But at the same time, they don't want to make it too easy that a lot of the old players just quit. So they've had to really balance around, it's mostly because of how big Genshin has become, and in my opinion, I think that's a very hard thing to do, to please both your hardcore players and your casual players / new players, because your casual and new players are going to feel very anxious, thinking, I have to reach endgame now. I have to reach floor 12. I have to do this endgame content. I have to do that endgame content. What endgame content can I play? What stuff should I invest in that will, allow me to get to endgame content? And then they can't do that yet because they have to take step 1 first before they take step 20. And then some of their new players might feel like, oh no, I don't want to invest effort into step 1 because I'll have to throw this away later. I want to get to step 15 now, so that I don't have to waste too many resources. And I think that's a very hard balance to keep. You have to look at statistics of like which demographic of players you have more spenders. Unfortunately, they have to look at where more of the spenders are from, because it's better business, and I understand they've had to make that decision a lot of times, I'm assuming. So they can't just please everyone.
枫丹人和娱乐靠一种叫做照明，最终转化成能。
So I wanna look at them talk about Lyney's and Lynette's kids.
和意外性之外，数野球的魔术，去层层铺什么呢？也可以关于他不会害怕。林妮呢是一位
Okay, here it is.
他在战斗中
I also want to look at Freminet's kid as
林
well.
妮呢是一位运用火元素的弓箭角色，在战斗中他往往会发射影锯。
Fires pop arrows. He fires pop arrows. They're being very vague. It just says he fires pop arrows. They don't they've hardly given us any details. Like for a good while now, they've stopped giving us details about their kids. Are you getting Lyney? Me, I don't know. Probably not. I'm saving up for the Archon, and I'm pretty sure that she's gonna be coming in like maybe 0.1, maybe not 0.1, maybe 0.2 or 0.3, because that's typically when they release the Archon, like a few version updates after the 0.0 update. So I don't know. Like, I hope that I'm not forced to have to pull for Lyney. If I am, then it'd be like, okay. But I would rather not have to. Opponents, hat, all opponents will be summoned. So, what was that? Hang on. So that was a... These are normal attacks. Oh, did you see that? That was a level 2 charge attack, right? Looked like it was the main one, and then it was like a whoop, whoop. Okay. Apparently that thing taunts enemies. So the charged attack puts out like a Ganyu flower, because the Ganyu flower does taunt enemies too. That's it?
而元素爆发大魔术并选取时机。
Lyney will find the right opportunity, set it off, and deal damage. Okay, so apparently you can pop it. Apparently you can decide when to pop it.
能够嘲讽周围敌人的怪笑猫猫帽，并选取时机将它引爆，造成伤害。而元素爆发大
So the burst just seems like it's like Sayu's roll, but bigger, or Kirara's cat lunchbox. And then you just decide to pop it at the end. Okay. I don't know if you can decide to pop it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it seems really limited what you could do with it. It just seems very straightforward. It doesn't seem like you can do a lot of combos with it. You can't charged attack, you can't normal attack, you can't do anything while you're in that form. And I understand that's not a lot of time, but you're still missing out on a lot of damage from anyone else, like any of your like other off-field characters. Like so maybe some characters that have off-field abilities that still happen even if you don't do anything, like Xiangling's burst, Kaya's burst, Rosaria, etc. And sure, maybe, but then like it disables the ability to use someone like Xingqiu or Yelan or whoever, someone who has an off-field ability that requires you to normal or charge attack or do something to activate their off-field abilities.
它有一个固有天赋叫做琐碎观察术，还能帮助大家在小地图上。
我都不敢再念。那作为琳妮的妹妹琳妮特，
Oh, there's Lynette. I really like Lynette. Like I like how she
身为魔
looks.
术助手，同时也是舞台上最接近魔术师的人，琳妮特同样有着高超的魔术造诣。
I really like her, like the fact that she always has a straight face and like she seems real calm all the time.
配合呈现出的注意，另一位呢在抛的魔手，同法上来说，避开人们的
这种
Oh, okay, there it
真
is.
的让人很羡慕。
在战斗中呢，琳妮
In
特能
combat,
够以
yeah,
迷
after
身
high
引
speed.
导的
So
姿态
that
疾
seems
走，并向
like
标记到的敌
Yelan
人
hold
击
E.
出迷影突刺。
Unleash the Enigma thrusts at the opponent that is marked. Okay, so it is a Yelani. you can mark
而
enemies.
琳妮引导的姿态疾走，并向标记到的敌人击出迷影突刺。而琳妮特的
I'm assuming the mark is from her hold E.
元素爆发能够变出巨大的惊奇猫猫盒，嘲讽并对周元素爆发能够变出巨大的惊奇猫猫盒，嘲
So
讽
it's a
并对
taunt.
周围的敌人造成
And it looks like okay. It looks like it looks like a small Kazuha burst that has a taunt. I interviewed just now, so I had to leave the stream, but now I'm back. Hey, welcome back, man.
这个惊奇猫猫
So I don't know if that can infuse. I hope it can.
盒还能和其他元素产生。
为的素爆发能
Her kit seems really straightforward.
够
Yeah,
变
it
出
seems
巨
really
大的
simple.
惊奇猫猫盒，嘲讽并
They
对
don't
周
really
围的
talk.
敌人造成
They don't
风
really
元
say
素伤
anything
害。
about her
这个
passive.
惊奇猫猫盒还能和其他元素产生互动，不愧是魔术助手啊！这点都考虑到了。
虽然低调，但也很
好像是个厉害，
喜欢抛头露面的欢，或者呢，在当然这里面，
但是有点
中呢，进入元素一氪，在战斗中，菲米尼能够通过元素战技伏兵增压进入配。
And uses elemental skill to enter for his timer state. Okay, so see, it looks like, at least looking at the footage, it looks like a cryo
的
infusion.
攻击。而当菲米尼使用元素爆发之后，元素战技还将阶级进行不同战技伏兵增压进入配一氪技状态。中菲米尼能够通过元素战技伏
And
兵
it
增
looks
压
like
进
he's
入配
getting
一
some
氪技
sort
状
of
态。
stacks. Like if
在战斗中，
you look
菲米尼
at
能
this like icon here, hang on, it's too low res.
通过元素战
Yeah,
技
it looks like every hit, look, he's getting more. Looks like he has a stacking
并
mechanic.
根据压力阶级进行不
What
同
that
的攻
is, have
击
no idea.
而当菲米尼使用元素爆发之后，元素战技还将
The skill will be further
得到更
enhanced.
进一步的强化。
既然菲米
Interesting.
使用元素爆发之后
What's his burst?
并根据压力阶级进行不同的
His
攻
burst
击。
just seems
而
like
当
a
菲米尼
buffed
使
up
用元素爆
version
发
of his
之后
skill.
元素战技还将得到更进一步的强化。
既然菲米尼是一位潜水员，用他
Yeah, okay. I think that's mostly it. What I'm
no time for
actually
角
interested in.
色水中耐力消耗将降低35%，的确能够帮。
Okay.
This is no time for dis. Want to miss the best part, do you?
All right. After that, this is mostly the design part, aesthetics part, and then after that, events. Well, anyway, I'm sorry guys. I got work in 10 minutes from now, so that's gonna be it for today. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for coming by, hanging out, and being awesome people. Yeah, if you guys need any help building your characters, accounts, or need any help making a decision on which banners to pull for, feel free to join our Discord server. Links are in the description of all of my videos, VODs, and streams. You can ask for my opinion over there. My name is Elvis Einstein on our Discord server. Ask for other people's opinion over there. Take care, everybody. Have a good day, good afternoon, good evening, and take care. Bye, guys.
Begin! Here comes the finale.
It's easy to fix a machine when you know how it's built and how it works. But people, they're much more difficult.